Causes of the Civil War. One step toward war. The years leading up to the Civil War were turbulent and tense. People were divided over controversial issues facing the country. The biggest issue was slavery. Many people wanted it to end. Others wanted to stop it from spreading. Some felt slavery was necessary. It was a hot topic, and it was one that would tear the nation apart. A delicate balance. In the early 1800s, debates raged over slavery. There were also disagreements about states' rights. The nation was slowly splitting in two. A line was being drawn between the North and the South. Many Northerners were against slavery. They thought it should be banned in every state, not just the North. They felt the federal government should step in to abolish it. They did not think each state should have the power to permit slavery. The South felt the exact opposite. Southerners thought each state should be free to make its own laws. They did not want the federal government to interfere. The South thought slavery was a vital part of its economy. Southerners thought they would not be able to make enough money from their farms if they had to pay people to work the land. Different lives. Some Southerners had large farms called plantations. They forced enslaved Africans to work on plantations without pay. They had no rights. The North had factories in cities. Workers were paid wages. The Missouri Compromise. During the 1800s, the United States was still growing. New territories joined the Union. Leaders had to make big decisions. Should slavery be allowed in the new states, or should it be illegal? Leaders wanted to make both sides happy, so they tried to strike a balance. In 1819, the United States was made up of 22 states. There were 11 free states and 11 slave states. But Missouri also wanted to join the Union. This created a problem. Should Missouri be a free state or a slave state? The North and the South argued. Each state was represented in the federal government. Adding one more state to either side would give that side more power. It would have more votes in Congress. The dispute lasted 2 years. In 1819, Maine applied to join the Union too. This gave the leaders an idea. Missouri would be a slave state. Maine would be a free state. The country would remain balanced. This solution was called the Missouri Compromise. The compromise also stated that all western territories above Missouri's southern border were free. All territories below it would allow slavery. The Compromise of 1850. In 1849, California sought to join the Union, and it didn't want slavery. Now there would be more free states. Conflict between the North and South flared up as the balance between free states and slave states was upset once again. This led to a second compromise. The Compromise of 1850 was an attempt to keep the peace. It stated that California would enter the Union as a free state, but the people living in New Mexico and Utah territories would get to choose whether they wanted to be a free state or a slave state. The compromise also changed the Fugitive Slave Act and banned slave trading in Washington, D.C. Slavery itself was still allowed, but people could no longer be bought or sold there. This was a big deal. The largest slave market in the country was D.C. More slaves were traded there than anywhere else. The Fugitive Slave Act. Many people fled to the North to escape slavery. The Fugitive Slave Act allowed people to search for escaped slaves in the North. But in 1850, Congress changed the law. It said that the Northerners must help return runaway slaves to their owners. It also set harsher punishments for helping people escape slavery. This upset many Northerners. Listen to the next video for the rest of this passage.